Hello, I'm Gary Lyon and welcome to the 2014 wash-up for the West Coast Eagles. And Damo, it's remarkable in lots of ways that the feeling is this team had a pretty average year, yet they only just missed out on the finals.
They did, but it's not good enough that they did, Gaz. They had the capacity to play in September and didn't. Got it together late in the season, but that wasn't enough. Too much damage had been done. All
right, highlight time. Matt Priddis is one of those players who just plays well every single week. And who knows, Damo, that's not beyond the realms of possibility that by the end of September he could have a Brownlow medal to his name. That's how good his season's been.
He's polled well in the past.
He's a great Brownlow poll getter. I think he'll be in the top 5.
Yeah.
And that's testament to him. When the other players were struggling around him, he maintained this really high standard. Very hard to tag. He's inside. He's just prolific. And I've loved his consistency over a long period of time now. So for me, the highlight.
Yeah, when that team was flying, Dean Cox always loved having him at his feet. My Christmas bonus goes to...
No, just a highlight. Wait for your bonus.
I'll wait for the bonus. I'll go for the highlight first, maybe. Yeah, thank you. Josh Kennedy, this particular game goes round 8 against GWS. It's where he kicked the 11 goals. I thought throughout the course of the season he stood up pretty well, probably better than most of the Eagles. There were times where he was flat, but so too was the team. But this game, it just goes to show you don't kick 11 goals, do you, Gaz, without having... a lot of ability.
No, double figures are rare these days in the modern age. He's got his kicking sorted out too. He's lost the stutter. Seems to have worked on that, which says to me that he's a player who works really hard away from the game. So just hold your Christmas bonus, Warrior. You want to give him away too early?
We'll go to the low light first.
All right, well, give me a chance here. No, my low light is Nic Naitanui not being able to play consistent week in and week out footy. Now, they consistently tell me that Nic Nat hasn't been able to do a pre-season. That's okay, but as we sit here and assess it, he's had a poor season and he needs to be able to A, develop a tank, or B, OK, if he's got injury then get a clean run of it, because we know he's got ability.
But you know he's got an injury. You know he didn't do a pre-season. He had a groin problem.
I will only assess these players on their body of work, Damo, and what I get frustrated with is out of the blue, he'll have a really good game, and all of a sudden the plaudits fly, like we're seeing the reincarnation of Simon Madden and Graham Moss. He needs to do that on a weekly basis. I know he's got ability, everyone does, but he hasn't had a good year.
But you do need to factor in that he's carried an injury throughout the season.
Are we going to do that for every player in the competition?
But you know he didn't do a pre-season with a groin. I think you're really hard on him.
No, well, you're one of them that gets a little bit seduced by the really flashy bits and you forget about the other parts of the game. And the sooner you do acknowledge that, Damo, the better off you'll be.
All right, well, I'm going to go with the Eagle Ferals, guys, who really took umbrage at what Tyrone Vickery did to Dean Cox. And look, he deserved to cop something, Vickery, but honestly, guys, for two fans to think they can do that to a player, I don't like it. The security should have stepped in long before that, and I don't think they'd be doing that in a situation that didn't have a boundary line involved. I think Tyrone would have sorted them out.
Now go.
With what? Christmas bonus?
No, you don't even do it. Christmas bonus. Jeremy McGovern for me, Damo. I mean, this is a man who I think was sent away from pre-season and said, you've had too much pudding, get back onto the track. He worked his way back in, won his way into the senior team as a forward originally. Look at this. They're clean hands. That right there tells you that bloke can play. He's got good closing speed here. They threw him down to the back half in the second half of the year. I think Adam Simpson's going to say to Jeremy, we know this is the off-season, but don't get yourself too far away from a gym and see the road out there and the runners in the corner of your room. Use them, because I think he's a real talent. OK. I'm going with Eric McKenzie, guys, for the Christmas bonus, which I was eager to get to. No frills, very unassuming, but basically does not get beaten. No. And if he does, he's not getting smashed. And I mean, for a coach in his first year, Adam Simpson, to be able to rely upon someone as good as that to take the opposition's, if not best every week, certainly their second best, but usually their best. And what about his ball use out of the back half?
Well, he just plays the percentages, Gaz, goes towards the boundary line. He just get that ball out, clear it.
Right.
Just clear it.
Lucky you chopped that right there. No, I like him. He's got closing speed, so he can play on the hit-up forwards. Got strength to be able to stand one-on-one and contest really well.
Now, Elliot Yeo, Gaz, lost his teeth in this incident.
Well, there's lessons for all young kiddies, of course. That is, put your mouth guard in your mouth.
He had it in his socks or his pants.
Not in his sock. But the courage for the boy to come back on after half-time, it's not a good look, Damo. Have a look at this when we slow-mo it. You'll see them fly everywhere.
It was one of the more courageous acts, guys. He was back on the ground when the ball bounced to start the third quarter of that game.
Get your mouth guard in there, young Al.
Shopping block, guys.
Shopping block. Yeah, well, the West Coast Eagles are going to have to make a few calls. I've got Josh Hill. I think Mark Lacroix plays that spot.
Yep.
Unless they want to play Lacroix in the middle, which they may do, but I think Mark Lacroix is your absolute P in terms of that medium-sized forward, of which Josh Hill wants. I don't think Josh Hill does it consistent enough, so that's the chop for me.
OK, I'm putting Beau Waters on it, Gaz, only because his body has finally, I suppose, let him down.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. Look, apparently there's no better person at that footy club. There's no better leader at that footy club. And I really hope, that I'm actually wrong in saying this, but for 2 years now, Gaz, it just hasn't allowed him to get out there. And unfortunately, I just think it's probably time for him to make the call.
Well, it could be. They'll give him every chance because of those qualities that you speak about. But I hope he gets back.
Yep.
What do they need to do to improve? Well, I'm going back to my man, Nic Nat.
So you do have a problem with him?
Why?
Because you're going back to him. You've now referenced him twice.
Yeah, so they need to improve, and I'm saying that he needs to play to his ability. What's my problem?
The fact you referenced him twice in the space of 3 minutes.
That's how important he is, Damo. No, in all seriousness, I want to see him at his absolute best. I want to see how good he can be.
Yep. And
so hopefully he's fit, he has the pre-season, and then we can sit back and really have a look at him. But they need him. I mean, no Dean Cox now, so pressure on.
OK. Sherrod Wellingham's the man I reckon needs to improve, Gaz. Just has not put it together. I thought at one stage of 2010 when Collingwood was flying, this guy was A-grade, but he hasn't been since, has he? And the 2 years he's had at the West Coast list, he's gone backwards, and his future, I would think, in a context perspective, is right up in there.
So you're nearly chopping blocking him?
I nearly did put him on a chopping block, but he needs to do something next year if he wants to stay relevant in the AFL.
All right, well, give me your predictions, please. Up, down, stagnate, given they just missed the 8.
Yeah, I just think that they will go up simply because I reckon they will win the matches next year that they should have won earlier this year.
Finals bound, you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to say finals bound.
I'm saying they're going to stay around the mark, Damo.
Yep.
So just in, maybe just out, but they've got enough ability, that's for sure. So, very nice work from you, Damien Barrett. That is the wash-up for the Eagles in season 2014.